From Italy's Pompeii to the UK's Stonehenge, the world's ancient sites typically draw thousands of visitors each year keen to unlock the mysteries of past civilizations. But experts are unearthing secrets about these intriguing sites all the time, and it's clear we've only just scratched the surface of what there is to learn. Here we reveal some of the most fascinating discoveries from recent years. The truth about Hierapolis Gate to Hell. Hierapolis is an ancient Turkish city thought to date back to the 2nd century BC. The site sits close to the Travertine pools of Pamukkale and it draws tourists with its atmospheric ruins, from crumbling baths to temple buildings. But there's one Greco-Roman temple in particular that has a peculiar story to tell. The temple is called Plutonium, named after Pluto, the god of the underworld, and has long been dubbed the Gate to Hell. In ancient times, animals would be led to Plutonium by priests as part of a sacrificial ritual, and the crowd would look on in awe as the beasts dropped dead once inside the temple's cave-like interior. This earned the building a reputation as a passage to the underworld. Today, birds and insects have been known to perish upon entering, and scientists recently discovered the cause: a fissure deep beneath the structure that releases toxic levels of carbon dioxide. Ancient houses discovered at Hierapolis. During excavations in 2021, the remains of two houses dating back to the city's earliest years were found. They were excavated by a team of 30 archaeologists, led by Professor Grazia Semeraro from Salento University, who also found a number of small objects including pottery, coins, oil lamps and vases, which give an insight into the daily lives of people in Hierapolis. The secrets surrounding Egypt's bent pyramid. It might not be the most famous of Egypt's pyramids, but this striking structure in Dahshur still has secrets aplenty. Reopened to the public in 2019 for the first time since the 1960s, the Bent Pyramid, so named for its curious shape, sits around 25 miles south of capital Cairo. It's thought to be around 4,600 years old, dating back to 2600 BC, when it was built for the pharaoh Sneferu. But despite its many millennia, its riches are only just being discovered. In 2021, further intriguing discoveries were revealed in a new documentary on YouTube by researcher Annie XD. He showed viewers some graffiti dating to the pyramid's rediscovery in 1839, along with what he described as a real-life Indiana Jones trap, a stone gate which could be lowered across the passageway to block the entrance to the pyramid. Giza's ancient burial ground. Further north, the legendary Giza Plateau continues to yield its secrets. Home to the famed pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx, the plateau is one of the most archaeologically rich regions on Earth. In 2019, an ancient Egyptian cemetery was unearthed, which was thought to date back some 4,500 years. The substantial discovery included a tomb harking back to the 5th dynasty and containing the mummies of two important figures from the era. The mummified pair are thought to be Benuika, a high-ranking individual that served as both a priest and a judge during his lifetime, and Nui, whose many titles included Chief of the Great State. Alongside the mummies themselves, experts found artifacts including statues, intricate wooden coffins, and the remnants of wooden masks. Research into this ancient burial ground continues, so watch this space. Secrets of Tutankhamun's tomb. Further south in the Valley of the Kings, the last resting place of King Tutankhamun is still yielding secrets. And some are quite literally out of this world. When Howard Carter opened the tomb in 1925, two daggers were found within the sarcophagus, one of which was resting on the right thigh of the king. Studies have now confirmed this weapon is made from iron that probably came from a meteorite. The composition of the 13.4-inch long dagger's blade contains a high amount of nickel that's not found anywhere on Earth, suggesting to scientists that its raw materials were extraterrestrial. Surprising new sights at Chan Chan, Peru. You've no doubt heard of Machu Picchu, Peru's famous Inca citadel, but Chan Chan, a mammoth pre-Columbian site further north, often flies under the radar. Once the thriving capital of the Chimo civilization, Chan Chan had its heyday in the 15th century, and today it's a tangle of hulking walls and passageways endangered by the area's heavy rain. Nevertheless, research is ongoing and recent explorations of the site have proved extremely fruitful. An intricate adobe wall and some 19 wooden statues were discovered on the site at the end of 2018. It's thought that the structures were buried around 750 years ago, and each one stands around 26 inches tall, cast in wood, with a simple clay mask. The figures also seem to wield both a scepter and a shield. Experts believe the statues could have served as guardians. In November 2021, it was announced that archaeologists had found the remains of 25 people in a mass grave at the citadel. Most of the skeletons belonged to young women who had been under the age of 30 when they died, although scientists are still working to uncover their causes of death. Hagia Sophia's newly discovered treasures. One of Istanbul's most striking sights, Hagia Sophia draws tourists in their droves with its domes, minarets, and mosaic-filled interiors. Dating to the 6th century, the structure began life as a Byzantine church, before becoming a mosque in the 1400s. Since 1934 it has served primarily as a museum, but in July 2020 it was announced Hagia Sophia would return to being a Muslim place of worship. Its secrets are only just coming to light, and research at this spectacular site is ongoing, unearthing innumerable treasures in recent years. One of the most exciting finds is the Great Baptistry, where it's thought that emperors baptized their kin for more than a millennium. Around the same time, researchers discovered a space they believe was a library, once home to around 1,000 ancient scrolls. Finally, alongside hordes of mosaics, graffiti and frescoes hiding beneath more modern plasterwork, experts uncovered a circular spot that may look like nothing to the untrained eye. However, those in the know think this was where Byzantine Emperor Justinian I would have stood during religious ceremonies. Domus Aurea's secret chamber. Often overshadowed by Rome's showier sites, the Domus Aurea, interior pictured, was once a glittering palace, the vision of Roman Emperor Nero in AD 64. However, following Nero's death, his successors vowed to get rid of the flamboyant structure, destroying its upper levels and burying lower parts entirely. The Baths of Trajan were eventually built over the top of the palace, and it was as if it never existed. Thankfully, though, the palace complex was preserved underground, and it's still revealing fresh secrets. The latest discovery is an entire room, happened upon by chance during restoration work. Thought to have been constructed between AD 65 and 68, the Sphinx Room, as it has been named, is a small chamber adorned with murals, from garlands and fruit to centaurs and a lone sphinx. Though there's more of the space to be discovered, experts are reluctant to excavate further for fear of making the structure unstable. The Coliseum's hidden details. Rome's colossal amphitheater features high on many a traveler's wish list, and it's a place ripe for archaeological discoveries. Construction of the Colosseum began around AD 70 for Roman Emperor Vespasian, and, upon its opening, thousands of viewers would come to witness bloody gladiatorial games and other spectacles. But recent studies of the site have revealed more of the historic arena's hidden secrets. Firstly, during renovation efforts in the past few years, workers discovered a series of red numbers painted into the amphitheater's arches. The exposed numbers indicate that Roman spectators at the Colosseum followed an ordered seating plan and system of entry, not too dissimilar to those we'd expect at modern concert venues and theaters today. In 2017, renovation efforts led to more surprises. This time discoveries were linked to a medieval baronial family, the Frangipane, who existed after the fall of the Roman Empire, and who built a fortress into the Colosseum's southern side. Examinations discovered holes in the monument's stone, which would have supported beams for a wooden walkway that the Frangipane used to look out for enemies. While little is left of the medieval family's influence, these tiny details help open up a lesser-known portion of the Colosseum's history. Meanwhile, the arrival of new elevators in 2021 has allowed visitors to explore the building's underground levels, in which gladiators and animals would have waited before taking part in combat, for the first time. Tikal's concealed sites. The ruins of Tikal, an ancient Maya civilization, take up pride of place in northern Guatemala's Tikal National Park. It's thought that the site could have been settled as early as 600 BC, but the imposing pyramidal temples that wow modern visitors were constructed later, between AD 600 to 900. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Tikal is still giving up its secrets. Since 2018, advanced LiDAR, light detection and ranging, technology has helped experts make some fascinating discoveries there. The laser technology, which uses light to map previously concealed sites, revealed that the famed vestiges of Tikal are a mere fraction of the Maya ruins that exist here. Experts discovered previously uncharted palaces and fortresses, as well as ancient highways and irrigation systems. This new information has led scientists to conclude that the 800-square-mile area of the Tuten region surveyed could have supported a population of around 10 to 15 million people. This is compared with 5 million people, as originally thought. In April 2021, a further discovery flipped archaeologists' assumptions on their head. When they used LiDAR to analyze what they thought was a hill, they realized it was in fact a human-made pyramid, part of a larger courtyard. But the square wasn't like the rest of the buildings at Tikal, rather, it seemed to be a smaller replica of one at Teotihuacan, Mexico, some 800 miles away. This suggests the two communities had much more of an influence on each other than previously thought. The surprising scale of Angkor. The ancient archaeological site of Angkor, with the sprawling Angkor Wat temple complex at its heart, has held UNESCO World Heritage status since 1992. But the city has been beguiling architecture buffs long before the 90s. Angkor flourished under the Khmer Empire from around the 9th to the 15th centuries AD, and archaeologists are still poring over its historic expanse. And, in 2016, some fascinating findings were revealed. LiDAR technology has been used to scan the area around Angkor Wat and has revealed entire cities beneath the surrounding forest land. The findings, which included what's thought to be a complex water system and numerous gardens, have challenged experts' existing ideas about the scale of the civilization that existed here and its way of life. Petra's new monument. Few ancient cities are quite as captivating as Petra in southeast Jordan. The Red Rose City is famed for the treasury, a 131-foot-high monument complete with columns and intricate carvings, whose exact function is still unknown to experts. Petra's specific date of origin remains unconfirmed, but historians surmise the city had its heyday from the 1st century BC up until a shattering earthquake in the 4th century AD. Now archaeologists are continuing to unearth its delights. In 2016, satellites revealed a monumental structure in the ancient city. A huge, elevated platform, said to be the length of an Olympic swimming pool, was brought to light just 0.5 miles from Petra's center. Archaeologists have not yet made any firm conclusions about its purpose, but it's thought it could have been used for public displays or ceremonies. The historic earthquake at Machu Picchu. Tucked away in the Andes Mountains, the Inca ruins of Machu Picchu remain one of the world's most lauded historic sites. More than 500,000 people usually journey here each year, often following the fabled Inca Trail. But the ancient site, built around the mid-15th century and made up of temples, plazas, and a royal palace, has suffered under the weight of the huge visitor numbers. New restrictions were imposed in 2017 as a result, but still fascination with this ancient wonder is far from waning. Archaeologists' interest in this Inca site is alive and well too, and a new study has revealed that a natural disaster shook the site during its construction, around AD 1450. In 2018, the Geological, Mining and Metallurgical Institute of Peru found damage to some of Machu Picchu's major landmarks, including the Temple of the Sun, which they attribute to a brutal earthquake. According to experts, this caused the Incas to change their approach to Machu Picchu's construction partway through. Scientists say that two distinct architectural approaches are evident at Machu Picchu. Earlier parts are built with smaller stones, while later structures are made with hardier giant blocks. The research reveals the Incas' astute awareness of the natural dangers they were faced with, and their ingenious ways of adapting to them. The ancient tunnels below the Pyramid of the Moon. The vast archaeological site of Teotihuacan is less than an hour north of Mexico City. Little has been concluded about the ancient city's origins, but it's thought to have flourished between 100 BC and AD 650, more than a millennia before it was settled by the Aztecs. The Pyramid of the Sun is the largest structure on the site, at more than 216 feet above the ground. But it is the smaller, 140 feet, Pyramid of the Moon that has yielded the most interesting secrets in recent years. Using complex electric resistance technology, archaeologists were able to map the area beneath the Pyramid of the Moon. They found a secret tunnel running around 26 feet beneath the pyramid, as well as a kind of chamber. Experts believe Aztec peoples could have used the chamber for funereal rituals or ceremonies, and therefore the tunnel itself could have signified the route to the underworld. The next step will be to explore these subterranean wonders and hopefully shed more light on the customs of this ancient civilization. The real significance of the Taj Mahals Garden. Agra's Taj Mahal needs little introduction. An elegant feat of Mughal architecture, it was built in the 17th century for Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his beloved late wife Mumtaz Mahal. Today it's still considered a monument to love. But brand new research has thrown up some more secrets. Italian researcher and physicist Emilia Carolina Sparavigna discovered that the site was actually built to seamlessly align with the summer and winter solstice. The real significance of the Taj Mahals Garden. Using satellite technology, Sparavigna spent time plotting the path of the sun over the monument and found that its movements perfectly align with the Taj Mahal's gardens. According to Sparavigna, if you visited the Taj Mahal before sunrise on the day of the summer solstice, usually June 21st, and you stayed right until sunset, you'd see the sun beat a perfect path from a pavilion in the site's northeast to another pavilion in the northwest. As the sun moves overhead, it beautifully frames the Taj Mahal's mausoleum and minarets. As is common with mobile architecture, the Taj Mahal's gardens are thought to signify the Garden of Eden, whose rivers famously flowed to the four corners of the world. The path of the sun serves to highlight this symbolism. Experts also suggest that, on a more practical level, knowledge of the sun's path would have helped architects plot the Taj Mahal site precisely and symmetrically. El Castillo's newly discovered pyramid. The ancient Maya city of Chichen Itza, in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, is thought to date back to the 6th century. The site has many a treasure, from an intricate nunnery to a sacred cenote, but El Castillo is the most glittering jewel in Chichen Itza's crown. The pyramid, whose name means the castle, towers to 79 feet. Its design, including 365 steps, one for each day of the year, is a nod to the Maya calendar. And today, it's still slowly relinquishing its secrets. In 2016, scientists used imaging technology to peer inside El Castillo and found something amazing. Experts already knew of a second, smaller pyramid hidden away within El Castillo's outer shell, but this technology uncovered a third. It's thought that this third pyramid measures about 32 feet, and the discovery has helped scientists conclude that Chichen Itza's heyday and its construction can be split into three key eras. The new pyramid is believed to have been built in the early Pure Maya era from around AD 500 to 800, before the arrival of the Toltec peoples. Until now, little has been known of this ancient period of the site's history. A 1,000-year-old canoe at Chichen Itza. At a cenote, freshwater sinkhole, near Chichen Itza, archaeologists have dug up a canoe which is thought to be more than 1,000 years old. The 5-foot-long, 2.5-foot-wide canoe has been dated between AD 830 and 950. It's the first complete canoe of its kind to be found in this area, and the researchers aim to make a model of it to study it further. The meaning behind Göbekli Tepe's stone carvings. Widely touted as having the world's oldest temple, the site of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey has its origins between 9,600 and 8,200 BC, dramatically predating better-known wonders, such as the revered pyramids of Giza. The plot is made up of limestone megaliths and is said to have never been inhabited. Instead, experts believe Göbekli Tepe had a ceremonial or funereal purpose, and ancient peoples would come here to worship. Since the site was originally written off as a graveyard in the 1960s, real excavation work only began in the early 1990s. This means there's still much to be uncovered. In 2017, experts from the University of Edinburgh made an exciting breakthrough. After studying the carvings on Göbekli Tepe's stone pillars, they uncovered evidence that a comet struck Earth in 11,000 BC. Markings on a pillar nicknamed the Vulture Stone turned out to be astronomical symbols that related to the comet and the constellations over the site at the time. Scientists then used technology to recreate the constellations and nail down the exact time of the comet. The comet had great significance for this ancient community since it was linked to the start of a mini ice age, which would deeply impact its people for years to come. The real reason for Easter Island statues. The Chilean territory of Easter Island is famed for its gargantuan stone statues, or moai. There are hundreds of these somber stone heads and torsos dotted across the isle, and while the exact date of their origin is unconfirmed, estimates usually fall between AD 1050 and 1680. The real mystery, though, is why these monuments were erected in the first place. But after years of deliberation, some scientists think they have the answers. By carefully mapping the moai's positions, experts found a correlation between the statues' locations and the presence of fresh water. Though the island has no springs or streams above ground, researchers found that, near the coast, fresh water would surface from underground via a process called groundwater discharge. It could also have been found in caves. Though they're still unsure why the structures are so elaborate, some are more than 30 feet/9 m, scientists are convinced they were in part built to signify and lay claim to this vital resource.